Hi there guys and girls, and welcome to my next YouTube video, which is a review of the Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm Volume 1 DVD. So, excuse me, I may do other volumes in future, but for now I'm just doing this one. So I will start by saying, and I wish I could show you guys, when I first got Defenders of the Realm, I got it on tape from America. But I couldn't find those tapes, and they were separate tapes for like, I think they had 2 episodes or something. But by the time, like, you know, I bought like a few of the tapes, but I only bought 2. I didn't get all of them from the States. But by this time, the DVDs were starting to come out anyway, and it was funny because there were no DVDs in the US. And I always find this funny with Mortal Kombat. It seems with the old Mortal Kombat stuff, like Conquest, Defenders of the Realm, it seems to always come out in foreign countries before America. Because, you know, when I was buying DVDs, it's easy to get stuff from America. I used to get stuff from DVDexpress.com. You know, I never really used Amazon. Amazon, back in the day, I know, like, you guys like for Americans watching, you guys love Amazon. I see it all the time. Amazon's the greatest, it's the best. But, you know, when I was first getting into DVDs, it was the worst. They would charge you all these fees for being in Australia. Like, if you bought a 6-disc set, let's say there were 6 discs in this case, even though this same case is a physical size, let's say this had 6 discs in it and this had 1, they added a fee because there were 6 discs in it. They added, like, I don't know, 5, it wasn't 5, I don't know, maybe $2 per disc or something, and $2 US, and it pushed the orders up. You know, that was 1 disc, you'd get a whole lot of movies, and it was always a rip-off. If you were in Australia, it never worked out good to get from Amazon. The only exception seemed to be CDs. CDs seemed to be quite cheap if you got them from Amazon. So I used to get from places like I said, DVD Express and DVD Crave and stuff like that, and other places that I've forgotten the names of. And but they never had Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. They never had Mortal Kombat Conquest. You know, and that's what always blows my mind, that Australia was the first place to get an official release of Mortal Kombat Conquest. And for those of you jumping up and down going, no, it's not true, Germany had it first and the UK had it first, those aren't official releases. They were by Arrow Films, the ones in the UK and that. I'm not sure who did the German ones, but I've seen them and they're not official. I've got them, and that's how I know they're not official. The ones I got that came out in Australia had Warner Brothers all over it, copyrights, had all the proper copyright stuff. You look at all those other ones, it didn't have the proper, you know, footer that like an official DVD release has. So here in Australia, we started getting the Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm DVDs, and they released 6 different ones. That's the one I'm reviewing now. That's Volume 1, which contains Combat Begins Again, Sting of Scorpion, and Acid Tongue. 3 episodes. The funny thing about these DVDs, even though you could get them in the big stores in Australia like JB and that, you'd never see them in like a Target or a Big W, which are other stores here that sell DVDs. It was always either, you'd find a few in JB. It was weird. It must have been because JB was they were getting really big on DVD, so they must have outsourced to like what I call the dodgy distributors. These DVDs were always like $8, which is, for a DVD in Australia, is like nothing. Most DVDs were $20, $30, right? So these were like budget DVDs. So I'd always find these in places that sold budget DVDs, and like you'd see those cheap stores like the $2 shops and things like that. I'd hit them up and I'd always find Defenders of the Realm DVDs, and I used to just constantly buy them. I've got a whole box of tapes, of VHS tapes. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. No one has video anymore. But when the DVDs were coming out, I was trying to get more of them. I had quite a few. I do have some DVDs spare, but it started to get harder to find them. But I kept finding the videos. The videos were like $5, so I just buy them and stock up on them. And I thought, you know, I'll give them away one day. But you know, video's kind of dead now, so I don't know if anyone would ever want them. But yeah, so that's how I got the Defenders of the Realm DVDs in Australia. I also imported from the UK, the UK version. Their episodes had 4 episodes on it. This is just one of the cases. I don't have the other 2 with me. They're in the other room, but that's just to show you what the UK one looked like. And my dad was working overseas for a while in Bahrain, which is in the Middle East, and it was actually TabMock99 who told me that, Justin, who told me apparently in the Middle East the Defenders of the Realm intro was longer, and he was trying to get a hold of it. I think he heard me I mentioned somewhere that my dad might have been overseas or something, and I think he contacted me and said, see if you can get it. I think this is going back a long time. I don't remember. And my dad's hopeless at finding like DVDs and stuff. I always tell him, get me Mortal Kombat stuff, and but he's come through a few times. He came through. He got me that Ultimate MK3 from Indonesia. Balikpapan, sorry. He got me the Mortal Kombat Deception Molina Collector's Edition from Canada when he was in Canada. And he actually came through with the Middle East Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm DVDs. I couldn't believe it. He came back and I'm like, oh my god, that's them. Like, he goes, I got some Mortal Kombat thing. Like, it doesn't even say Mortal Kombat on it. It's, because it's Arabic. It's all squiggles. But I guess he just knew what the character, I guess he knew what Sub-Zero looked like or something. I don't know. Oh, he probably saw the dragon. That would have been it. And in this set, there were 4 DVDs. So I've got them. And the covers are real dodgy. They're using here like a Mortal Kombat Trilogy piece of promotional artwork, and then the rest is from the show, and it says VCD, and it's a DVD, and it's all a mess. The whole thing's dodgy ass. So yeah. So I'm no stranger to Defenders of the Realm. But now I just wanted to talk a bit about the history of, what it's like to get it on video and stuff. But now I will talk about the actual show. So you saw my The Journey Begins review. And as I mentioned in The Journey Begins, the thing that brought it down the most was having the CGI and the 2D animation. Didn't work. Now the thing about Defenders of the Realm is that it is straight 2D animation the whole time. The 2D animation is very basic. Like, when I watch it, there's nothing that really impresses me about it. It's very, it looks very, very budget in the animation, which isn't a bad thing. It's still watchable. It's not like terrible, but like, I've seen a lot of cartoons that are drawn a lot nicer than Defenders of the Realm. The music's by Jonathan Slode again, who did the music for Mortal Kombat Conquest. And when you're watching the show, it becomes very apparent. They sound identical. A lot of the stories are actually written by the same person that wrote stories for Mortal Kombat Conquest as well. I think it's Sean Catherine Derrick, I think it is, was one of the writers. There's probably a few others. Also wrote these stories. So the writing wasn't bad. Like, there were times when it was real basic. It's a kid's show. It's written as a kid's show. It's visually shown as a kid's show, Again, the violence is pulled back a bit and stuff. The music's quite good. The only time it bugs me is when there's a fight scene. It just goes into this full-on techno. Oh, and I'm watching it going, oh god. It kind of gets under my skin. Like I said, I'm not the biggest techno fan, but like I prefer to watch the show when it's not in the fight. The music's fine when they're not fighting, but then it kicks into all this techno, and sometimes it can get on my nerves a bit when I'm watching it. It's not that like I watch Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm all the time though anyway. But now the biggest surprise about Defenders of the Realm, I still can't believe this. It has 3 voice actors in it that are very, very, very well known. And I mean, like, Hollywood famous well known. So the first is Raiden, is played by Clancy Brown. He has a fantastic voice, very dominating, very big authority, big dominance, very deep voice. And Clancy Brown, if you guys are out there going, who the fuck's Clancy Brown? Clancy Brown was the prison guard in the Shawshank Redemption, Byron Hadley. He was the head of the guards. He was the corrupt guard. He was the guy that says, you eat when we say you eat, you shit when we say you shit, and you piss when we say you piss. You got that, you maggot dick motherfucker? You know, and he hits him with the club, and then he gets the guy, he's that corrupt guy from Shawshank. And Shawshank, as far as IMDb is concerned, is considered the #1 movie, you know, of all time on IMDb. So, like, to have a voice like that is, I look at it all the time and go, you know, and Clancy Brown, like, he's been in things, don't get me wrong, but he's not in things all the time, but he's a great performer, great actor, and has a great voice. The next person you'll know is Stryker in the show. Now, I actually didn't even realise this till I started this review and started doing some research. And I've blown an opportunity, because one thing I like to do is if you ever wonder why on my channel there's always videos from Comic-Con and PAX, and, you know, I used to do Supernova, no more, fuck Supernova. The reason I go to the cons is because, I like to photograph the Mortal Kombat cosplayers, and the other ones too. But I like to do a bit of coverage, I like to go to the shows, and if people want to meet me, they can at these shows. I like to do all that stuff. I don't get a lot of people coming up to me, I'll be honest, but, you know, I do get one or two. And so I like to do that, and that's why I put the videos up. And I know, like, a lot of the time, the videos don't do that great. It's like you guys aren't really interested in my con coverage sort of thing, but the reason I keep doing it is so I can keep getting invited back. You know, if there's a celebrity that comes to one of these cons that did something on Mortal Kombat or was in a Mortal Kombat movie, I've got a better chance of getting an interview with them. If I've been doing coverage for like 5 years, they're going to know who I am. And then, you know, on the 6th year, they're bringing in, I don't know, Lyndon Ashby from Mortal Kombat. I've got a really good chance of interviewing him because they know who I am. I've done 5 years of coverage for them. And that's one of the reasons I do it. So anyway, I was at Comic-Con. I think it was 2013. And Ron Perlman was there. Ron Perlman. Now, for those of you who don't know who Ron Perlman is, and you should know who Ron Perlman is because he's awesome. He was Hellboy. He was Sons of Anarchy. He played Clay Morrow. I love that show. He's done a lot of things. The Punisher, Dirty Laundry, even though he had a little part in that, I really like that. He was Stryker in this show. Ron Perlman, the head of Sons of Anarchy, was Stryker. Now, it turns out I did not know this, and I feel like such a clown. I'm a big fan of Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans, not that new bullshit. Ron Perlman also voiced Slade Wilson in Teen Titans. And it turns out, I didn't know this, but when I went to that Comic-Con, Rob Paulsen was also there. And Rob Paulsen is a voice acting god. He's voiced, I can't even know. He's voiced like everything. Look him up on IMDb. He's done a whole lot of stuff for Warner Brothers, you know, Animaniacs, all sorts of stuff, Pinky and the Brain. This guy is like a legend, right? And he was at Comic-Con, and you could meet him and get autographs for free. And this was around the time I didn't have a job at that time as well. And I wasn't actually at that con for press, so I hadn't actually applied. So I just bought a ticket. The thing with these shows is that when they bring out, I don't know why, but when they bring out voice actors, they usually don't charge for autographs or photos, which I think is really cool. You know, I guess it's because maybe they think the kids want to meet him. I was really excited to meet Rob Paulsen. Rob Paulsen is the voice of Raphael from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he's the voice of Donatello in the current 2012 Ninja Turtles, and that's why I went, you know, because I love Ninja Turtles. So I went up to the desk, and I was wearing a Sons of Anarchy jacket, you know, because I wanted to also meet Ron Perlman. And I'm like, hey man, he's like, hey man, you know, and I took a photo with him, and he was really cool. He let me take a photo, and he signed all my Turtle DVDs, and it was really awesome. And then he goes to me, he goes, you seen Ronnie yet? You seen Ronnie? He goes, I noticed you got Sons of Anarchy. He goes, you seen Ronnie? I go, no. He goes, oh, I know Ronnie. We've worked together on so many things, and And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I didn't really know. And then I looked him up later. I looked up Ron Perlman. I didn't realize he was. I just thought Sons of Anarchy and all Hellboy. I didn't realize he had this whole back catalogue of voice acting. I was like, holy shit. You look him up, he's done so many voices. And he was in this as Striker. I couldn't believe that. And I could have asked him about... That's one of the things I like to do, you know. I asked Ron Perlman a question. It was kind of a silly question. I asked him what it was like to work with Kurt Sutter, who I think's a kind of an interesting character. He's the guy who writes Sons of Anarchy and The Shield and that. But, you know, if I had known he was on the show, I would have asked him about Defenders of the Realm. So the third actor that you'll know is Sub-Zero, is played by Luke Perry. Yeah, the guy from Beverly Hills 90210. You know, I mean, again, he hasn't been around. Well, I haven't seen him around much, but these are three names you should know. These are big names. As for the rest of the cast, I don't really know any of them, but I was quite shocked that this little cartoon that seems to have a pretty low budget, animation wise and that, had three big names on it, and I don't know, it must have just been a quick job for them or something, easy money sort of thing, but that always amazes me, you know. You know, so that's something that Defenders of the Realm has going for it. It had, like I said, okay animation, nothing special. The music was okay. The techno gets to me sometimes. There's sometimes some songs in it, which is kind of cool, like when Liu Kang's fighting Scorpion. I kind of like that. The sounds were good. Had pretty good cast of voice actors. You know, those three are powerhouses. You know, the rest all do their jobs very well. You know, Sonya, Nightwolf, Liu Kang, Katana. You know, they all do their jobs really well. So the thing about this show, I'll talk a bit about these 3 episodes now. The thing about this show is, the thing that it gets is that the characters are in it and they do all their moves, and the characters are the characters. Like Liu Kang does his bicycle kick, Sonya does her kiss of death, her ring toss, her leg grab. They all do their moves, and it's all 2D all the time, you know. And that's how it should have been. It's very consistent, which is where the Journey Begins fell off. Journey Begins wasn't, and that was a problem, you know. And that's what was so good about Defenders of the Realm. At least it was consistent. At least it was decent in most aspects. The stories were good. On this first one is called Combat Begins Again. It opens with the Mortal Kombat logo and the eye lighting up red, and we see that our Earthrealm warriors are fighting Outworld invasions. So what basically the cartoon sets up is that our good guys always have to stop Outworld. They're trying to invade Earth. You know, and pretty much every episode they open up an illegal portal somewhere and come in. But the cool thing is that they don't just focus on like 1 or 2 bad guys. They actually have nomads in it. They have Shokan in it, reptiles, raptors. They mentioned Shang Tsung. He's not really in it though. Quan Chi's in it in later episodes. They have all the bad guys. They have all the good characters. They did all that really well. You know, this actually could have been a really good show that they could have kept going. You know, but it was very sort of tightly boxed, and it was what it was. In Combat Begins Again, our good guys are fighting the Outworlders, and they're outnumbered. There's too many of them. Sector and Cyrax are there, you know, and they're about to give up hope. They're like, what do we do? And then Sub-Zero shows up and he starts freezing them, you know, and they're like, oh my god, Sub-Zero, you know, we can't trust him, you know.
Annihilate.
Sub-Zero! What's that sleazoid doing here?
Seems he's putting a big chill on the invasion. Let's back him up.
Are you nuts? We can't trust Sub-Zero. He's a traitor to his own clan.
Hey, I don't want to marry the guy, but he's giving us the edge we need.
I don't like this either, but we must eliminate the cybernetic units.
Then what are we waiting for? Combat time!
And they mention that he's got a shady past, and they don't trust him, and then they say, let's back him up, you know, and then they team up and they take out the Outworlders, and then they let Sub-Zero come back to their headquarters, and as soon as they do that, someone starts attacking the headquarters, and they're like, okay, Sub-Zero sold us out, you know, sort of thing, and then most of the team go off to battle them, and Sub-Zero and Nightwolf stay in the cave, and then they get attacked in the cave, and Sub-Zero helps Nightwolf, you know, and then that proves that, you know, Sub-Zero is loyal, and Raiden finds out that he was hit with a tracking device, and then that's pretty much Sub-Zero joining the team in the first episode. Second episode, Sting of Scorpion's a good one. Again, apparently Scorpion's trying to bring an army over from Earthrealm, from Outworld, sorry, to Earthrealm, and Raiden says that is where he talks about that Earthrealm's very special because there are a whole lot of hidden portals in Earthrealm, and that's what makes it special. We're kind of like a crossroad between realms, and Scorpion wants to come across and open one of those portals. I'm trying to remember now. And he does that, and he raises all these like skeleton guys, and then they go into this portal, they go to Outworld, and then Scorpion wants to resurrect Shang Tsung. He goes up to his shrine where all the dishonored, most evil, dishonored people are, and he wants to, you know, bring up Shang Tsung. The coolest part here is that Sub-Zero gets really angry and he wants to take on Scorpion because he hates Scorpion, you know, and Scorpion defeats Sub-Zero with one kick, you know, and then Sub-Zero says, I can't fight him, I'm too full of hate. He goes, you have to do it, Liu Kang, believe in yourself. And one of the cool things is that here that Liu Kang talks about, would he have won the Mortal Kombat tournament if Kitana didn't tell him how to, you know, use the element which brings life? Which is also mentioned in the first episode. And Kitana says, what I gave you was merely a tool and you knew how to use it, sort of thing. But then it comes up again in this episode, Sting of Scorpion with Sub-Zero, you know. This, remember, Liu Kang killed his brother, you know. And he says, I also wondered if you could have won without Kitana's tip, you know. But now I know in my heart that you could have, you know. And don't doubt yourself because that will get you, you know, killed. You will lose, you know, sort of thing.
Scorpion! You're going to pay for what you've done to my clan.
Ah, the Ice Ninja cometh. But you cannot keep me from my prize. The evilest of all the dead, Shang Tsung.
I'm taking you down, Scorpion.
You're mine, traitor. Soon you will join my army of the dead.
Sub-Zero, wait! Don't let your anger give Scorpion the edge.
No mercy! Yeah! Neither of you is man or ghost enough to stop me.
It's up to you, Liu Kang. Doubting yourself is as dangerous to the ninja as anger. How did you know? It is said that Princess Kitana gave you the secret to defeating my brother. I too wondered if you could have beaten him without it. In my heart, I believe the answer is yes.
And I like that because that's something that I always thought about. After watching the Mortal Kombat movie a few times, I always thought, if Kitana didn't tell Liu Kang, use the element which brings life, would he have won? Let's think about that for a second. Sub-Zero's there, he's got his hands down here, he's doing this big freeze, going this big fucking like force field thing, it's growing and it's growing, it's getting bigger and bigger. What do you do to stop that? I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. So I always thought, I wonder if he would have won without the tip. Or if Sub-Zero would have won, you know? So I really liked that in this show. I thought that was kind of cool that they put that in. You know, some of the writing was pretty good. The writers that did this stuff on Defenders of the Realm and Conquest, they had their moments so they put really good things in that were great. So Liu Kang defeats Scorpion, they have a fight, Liu Kang defeats Scorpion, you know.
Match for us. Get over here! What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Liu Kang, concentrate. See him with your mind's eye. Believe in yourself.
And Raiden sends the bad guys to some other realm. He sends them off. So, in the last episode on this DVD, Acid Tongue, it's all about invasion of reptiles. So again, our combat guys, our good guys, are fighting. A portal opens up and all these reptiles come in and they're fighting all the reptiles and they're shooting acid everywhere. And this is the episode where Jax becomes a giant pussy. Because he fights the reptiles, he damages his bionic arms, and then they won't work. And then the rest of the episode, he's just like, I'm nothing without my arms. I'm nothing. I'm just not strong. You know, it actually gets to the point where it's really annoying. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. MK2 Jax was the best.
The control chips are gone. The shells can be repaired, but the control chips are one of a kind. It's lost. Everything's lost. Let's get out of here. Wait, I need my arms, man.
Earthrealm's under attack. Get to that island and see what's going on with Sonya.
I can't. Not without my bionics.
Get over it, Jack. Sonya may be in danger because she went back to look for your stupid chip thing.
But what's the use if I can't do anything?
Try. Let's do it. I'll meet you at the RIP coordinates.
Jax, contact us as soon as you find Sonya.
You guys just don't get it. All I am is a strong man. I'm nothing to the team without my bionics. I never thought I'd say this out loud, but I'm scared. I'm afraid I'll find out I don't have what it takes without my super strength.
You know, like I hate that because I always say that MK2 Jax, the Jax without the arms, was the greatest Jax ever, and I've hated every Jax since. I've never really liked it. I thought the metal arms looked cool at first, but you know what? MK2 Jax was more badass. He was more stronger. You know, grabs him, gotcha, pulls him in. Yeah, I always liked MK2 Jax more. So in this episode, his arms get damaged. He kind of has a fight with Sonya. They go back to base, and Sonya stays behind to look for a microchip from the arms, and then she gets attacked by a reptile. Then there's another attack from someone else. So most of the good guys in this episode are fighting them, and Jax has to go help Sonya, you know, without his arms, you know. He can't rip open doors and stuff. He's trying to help Sonya. He goes back to the island. Then he has to fight against, you know, what's his name? Korbrak, I think he says his name. He says, this reptile says his name in the episode, and he has to fight this reptile, and he has to be smart about it, you know. Brains over brawn. That's kind of the message of the episode. And yeah, he defeats Korbrak. They go back to their realm, and that's it. You know, Jax learns his lessons. You know, he gets his arms repaired, and that's it. You know, so that's pretty much it for this first DVD of Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. That's what I think about it. It was a fun show. It really was. It could have been a good ongoing cartoon. You know, because a lot of kids really do like Mortal Kombat. You know, they did know what they were doing back in the day by having all these cartoons and animations and stuff. They did know what they were doing because kids love it. You know, it's always surprised me at the amount of kids that grew up, you know, with Mortal Kombat. I've even got comments on my YouTube videos. Been watching you since I was 5. I'm like, what? What? Really? I had people watching me at 5? That's crazy, you know. The other thing too about this show, like, I really like that they fly around in these these jets. They call them dragon jets, you know, and they fly around. That's how they get around. I really like that because, you know, the alternative is that fucking gerbil ball from Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the Velospheres. That was fucking awful, you know, and they're going around in those spheres under the ground, and that's how they get around Earthrealm. It was so bad. It was so bad. You know, I'll take the jets over the Velospheres any day. You know, so yeah, that's it for my Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm review. Yep. Out of these 3 episodes, Sting of Scorpion's probably my favourite, you know, because Scorpion's my favourite character. I think he's kind of cool. I like the fight scene with Liu Kang. Some kind of bit more better animation there where the camera kind of follows the animation and stuff. And I liked that he had those skeleton warriors. They kind of they almost look like little Shao Kahns, you know, and he was going to resurrect Shang Tsung. I thought that was kind of badass. And that Shang Tsung was dead. It was kind of very interesting storyline plots. You know, so yeah, that's it for this review. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another YouTube review. Thanks, guys.